saw that Meta just lost this case against
A
KGM.
ridiculous case.
But I mean, we saw that people's mental health can be affected by AI. We saw that people talk to AI and use it as a therapist. Even though, yes, they're having full conversations about what to do next and decisions to be made, health decisions made on AI. We need to really stop people from using it or misusing it for information, because some of the information could lead people down the wrong path. And though we're not blaming the actual infrastructure, we want to provide some protections on that, right? You don't want somebody too young getting the wrong information and making the wrong choice. As we talk about protecting lives in the last segment, I mean, that has to be important when you think about mental health. This is the beginning of people spiraling.
Yeah. Look, young people can have their mental health harmed by all manner of things, from going down rabbit trails on ChatGPT and talking to the bot for too long, or spending too much time on 4chan, Reddit, and Tumblr. We know that those things can harm people's mental health as well. No AI required. But I echo Robbie Suave here. What we saw in that LA courtroom regarding Meta and Google is a shakedown for liability lawyers in this country looking to tie all mental health problems in the country to people's internet use. The very fact that they split that settlement 70-30 between YouTube and Meta shows me how arbitrary it is. They're just going, 70% of your mental health problems can be attributed to YouTube. No one can even prove that. This is just sort of a big shakedown for the liability lawyers.
So the idea that this opens up both Meta, YouTube, and other outlets to a variety of other lawsuits is real, but you would think that perhaps maybe they would just consider providing less addictive options for children. If that's the argument, that they intentionally make these apps to have an obsessive amount of addiction, specifically for adolescents, then perhaps they would just go in there. And, I know there's been some reporting about some internal messages where they were kind of laughing about how addictive that these apps are and things like that. I think that if they just are mindful, adults have autonomy, right? They're full grown brains and everything. But for kids, let's try to make them a little bit less addicting. I know you want people to stay on your software, but also put parameters in place, which I see small things happening, like the teens, the Instagram for teens and apps that are coming along, but a few more protections to make sure that the experience is pleasant for adults that don't have the privilege of being home with their kids every minute after school. Some people work 2 jobs. Some people have their kids in after school care where maybe it's not the best and they might be on a phone.
There's the thing called Pavlovian responses, which is, you can train a dog to do certain things based on ringing a bell, right? That's the old experiment. You can get a dog to associate a certain action with the ringing of a bell. The same is true for human beings. We actually respond to things and are trained mentally, can be hardwired the exact same way. And what you see with a lot of apps, you were talking about addictive features, those are all true, down from the colors that you see in apps, the brightness, and then also notification effects. We love it. It actually just sort of
like endorphins in your brain.
Right, it scratches our lizard brain. But like Duolingo, right? Duolingo on my phone for learning Spanish. Every time I complete an exercise, it gives me that very satisfying treasure ding sound. It is trying to addict me to learning Spanish every single day. These things can be used for good. They can also be used for ill. How can companies set up as many guardrails between kids as possible and more addictive sides of apps? I think they could do it all day, but nothing matters if the parent doesn't take action in their own household. I'm not to flaunt my own great parenting, but I have a 15-year-old and I still control her iPhone. She didn't get her first iPhone until she was 14. And when I did onboard her, it was with a kind of a nerfed thing called a Bark phone where I have full control over every single app download. She's now on an iPhone. She can't download an app without my permission. She has to ask for it, and then it sends me a notification, and then I approve or deny it. And I deny a lot of things. So I'm sorry, but people got to do their job. Otherwise, it's on you.
You know what? I would like to sit down and talk to you. I have a 4-year-old, so, but I still want to get into the game and be hip to all the things so that I'm not the parent who's I feel like parents get tricked every day by their kids because they know how to use these things. They're 10 times faster and smarter with technology, which is a great thing, but also don't outsmart me, right? I'm the parent here. So we're going to have to talk about this.